Well, hello and welcome to Threads 2024, Eleanor and May. And perhaps I should begin with Xing Yan Kwa Le.
Beautiful pronunciation.
I hope so. So perhaps you could tell us a little more about yourselves as we are celebrating Chinese New Year and a little more about your histories. Both of you, maybe we could start with Eleanor.
I was born in China, grew up in Taiwan, and before we moved to Taiwan, we stayed in Hong Kong for a few years. So, and then from Taiwan, we went to States. My husband to do his first graduate study, and then we moved to Canada, which is 40 years ago.
Wow, that's a twisty, winding road.
Yes, yes. So whenever people ask me, where are you from? I have to tell the whole story. Canada, obviously. Most of my life is here. But I don't want to forget about my roots. So I always introduce the whole thing. In the classroom, I do the same thing.
Lovely.
Actually, I grew up in Xi'an, Shanxi province. It's a really beautiful city and historical city because Terracotta Warrior is in my city. So that's one of the 8 wonders in the world. Yes. And then I graduated UVice, marketing major. And after that, I joined Open Door Society. So I have been working with Open Door for 3 more years right now.
Oh, lovely. So maybe we might begin with these lovely couplets that we have behind us. And maybe you could tell us a little bit more about the meaning on them and why they're hung and what they symbolize and indicate.
This red couplet actually is our, how should I say, the main decoration for Chinese New Year. Around the household. Also those stores, merchants, they would like to put it. Because what on these red couplets is talk about a lucky saying. It's all about fortune, it's all about luck, it's all about good health and harmony things. So we have that one is as a main decoration. And on your left side is talk about the year round in this neighborhood will always have the positive energy. Okay. On the right side, on my side, this one is talk about the multicolored cloud will accumulate that kindness and distribute to everyone.
Oh, it's beautiful. So clouds will accumulate kindness and distribute it to everyone. Beautiful. Well, that's a wonderful way to start this year. So we're here today really to talk about what Chinese New Year might mean for Chinese Canadians and also how it might have evolved and changed. So maybe you can recall across generations, because we have several generations here, what Chinese New Year was like and what you recall from your childhood, and how it might vary in different regions and countries that are celebrating. And then maybe we could hear a little bit about how it's changed here in Canada from both of you as well.
50, 60 years ago, when we were young as a kids and celebrated New Year, the children's main job is set off the firecracker to wear off the evil spirit. Okay, and you can see moms, sisters, grandmas busy in the kitchen at the New Year's Eve that day or day before, prepare the meal. The 6 to 10 different dishes ready for the New Year's Eve dinner. Okay, and the father was busy with writing the red couplet. In the olden day, usually it's the head of the family, either father or grandfather, would write it down.
A hand done with calligraphy, yeah, beautiful.
Too, yeah. And then, if depends on how many so-called main doors you have here. Some houses have a gate through the yard, garden, and then go to the house. So you will have 2 or 3 sets of those red
like the same.
At any entrance into the home to keep away the evil spirits. Who would gather? All the family, the entire extended family? Would you go out into the streets when they were lighting the fireworks? It was very sort of communal feeling, or how was it a little bit?
For the firecracker things, actually kids just go to the crescent. Of course, if you live on the main street, you will go to the alley. And if you are not live on the main street, then you will set off the firecracker on the crescent. This way, all the kids in the neighborhood would come together and have a fun. But nowadays, I think it changed because that firecrackers song is scary to some of them, right? Some people maybe you can talk about.
Is it scary? Is it scary to the younger generation, or do you miss it?
I think for me, I don't get scared, but I do miss that one. Yes, because I remember when I was a child, we used to play a lot of that things, right? And then the best thing for me to waiting for Chinese Lunar New Year is I can have lots of food. And
Make
also,
lots of noise
Yes.
and eat till your heart's content.
and also I can meet all my cousins, my grandparents, because my family live in a different city. So only the Chinese New Year we can go to my grandparents' home to visit, right? And all my auntie, uncle, cousins, siblings will all came together, and then parents, they don't care what time you go to bed, and we just for fun, And also the best part is waiting for the red envelope,
Yeah.
The red envelope is actually called 压岁钱. 压岁 means hold on to your age. Don't grow up too fast. And keep the best thing from the last year and then set off for the new year. So that money is most of the time is from your parents, your grandparents, uncle, auntie. If you have a lot of relatives, the kids will be just so happy to receive that.
And how has this red envelope evolved now? Because I understand there's internet red envelopes. Is that correct? Or does everybody still have a physical red envelope? How has technology and the way you do all of these things changed, or has it maintained and endured the traditions?
Okay, I think that internet red envelope is the best part, because right now, like, a majority of the immigrants, like Chinese immigrants, right, when we came to Canada, right, or other countries, right, so we live far away from our families, so we can't have an actual physical red envelope to give it, right? But, nowadays the technology, we can use WeChat. It's one of the largest social media.
Like e-transfer?
Yeah, it's like e-transfer, but it's like WeChat, like in the New Year's, right? There's a special envelope, size New Year envelope or something. And then if you have a group, there's 10, 20 people, your family group, right? So you can actually set up a envelope and for example, $100, right? And then you pick only 10 people, first 10 people can get it. So everybody, when they saw the red envelope, rush, I need to get it, otherwise,
So becoming a game?
Yeah, it's becoming a game.
See, I'm learning too.
Yes, but it wouldn't have been received like that in your time, maybe, would it? How would you give that envelope to the
Even
child,
now.
and how is it received? Like, is it more of tell us about that moment, because here it becomes like a game.
Yeah. To us, it's really meaningful because you have to say something good to the older generation, say, Happy New Year, good health, and then you receive that. There's a meaning to that, okay? And so even now, my family, my 3 boys live in Toronto, okay? I send them the red envelope, only red envelope, and then transfer the money to my son, ask him to put it into each envelope and hand it to my grandkids and themselves. And then we do the FaceTime things. Okay. So wish everybody Happy New Year. That's our family do all this year.
What do you feel you might miss from those experiences back home, and how do Chinese people have to adapt or change to the Canadian sort of context or situation in which they're, again, trying to celebrate New Year? What gets lost or what changes, let's say?
Right now, I celebrate my Chinese New Year with my friends. You know, so before the New Year start, we will ask everybody, do you have any plans? You know, let's get together to someone's house, you know, and have a potluck, you know, or hot pot, right? So this is somehow is kind of changing, right? Because we kind of like follow the traditions, you know, eating together, celebration, and also, of course, we eat dumplings, right? But we also do a little bit different, like a Western way, because everybody bring potlucks. Because in China, we don't do this.
No.
Either you pay for this, the whole meal, or you pay for it, you know. Only one person pay the whole meals.
That's right.
Yeah, and then they make turns. But in here, either you do separate pay or you do potluck.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then obviously the connection with the family, the entire extended family. If I'm thinking back to my own background in another culture, there would be many, many people crammed into a tiny little house, and that sort of richness of that togetherness. And then people are separated sometimes from their larger extended family. Yeah. So as I understand from when we went to Chinese New Year, when we were invited, and it was lovely to be there, that feeling of family was the strongest emotion. Yeah. Do you feel that's lost, or is there anything that's missing in celebrating here? Because when you go to a big hotel, it's everybody coming together, but is there something missing, or that togetherness in the diaspora helps to make that connection and a substitute?
Yeah.
Is it?
For a lot of an immigrant, I think we don't have actually the official holiday during the New Year period, Chinese New Year period.
Which
in
would be
Canada,
over 2 weeks, right?
Yeah,
it would be almost 2
yeah.
weeks.
In China, Taiwan, or Hong Kong, we have New Year celebration from a week before New Year all the way till Lantern Festival. So that's 2 to 3 weeks is a winter holiday there. So it's a totally different thing.
Well, at the celebration that we went to, there were just incredible shows as well. Mm-hmm. So I just recall, for example, the Sichuan opera, and the actor that could change his mask that he puts on, just flipping, turning his head. You saw him. Wonderful. That is something amazing for it entertained everybody. I was just stunned by that. And then also the Monkey King and that kind of performance, and the Uyghur girls that danced. And then these wonderful, from Shanghai, the Song of the Early Morning Sunlight. I mean, were these performances that would have been done just for entertaining us in this Canadian situation, or would all of these things be happening back in China with the celebration there?
So just like you mentioned, the time is changed. The traditional Chinese New Year, just like our Christmas here, is family gathering. Okay, it's all about the family. But nowadays, since since 1983, the television station start the TV show to celebrate. So that's but in that time it's very still small scale to put on a show. And not till 2011,
so-called CCTV, the government, just like our CBC here, they put on a fantastic show
at the New Year's Eve. All the big famous celebrity will be show up there. And so that becoming the New Year's Eve dinner. After dinner, that's the main thing you're doing. You're just watching that. So you're talking about that or that things. It is a famous skill in all kind of celebration show, not necessarily only at the Chinese New Year, but all the celebration show, they would invite them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else we should know about preparation or rituals? So for example, I think you briefly mentioned about cleaning the house, getting new clothes. That is familiar for me in other cultures as well. Is that the same for you? I mean, it's visiting relatives, for example. If you're going outside the house, you're going to the oldest relative first, then moving down. Brother, but that's from another culture in Western Asia, the farthest point of Western Asia. So maybe we share some things. I'm not sure. Tell if you want to add anything about those other rituals.
Okay. So if I'm in China right now, right, I need to follow so many rules. Like before the New Year Eve coming, right, there's a specific day we have to clean in the house, you know, and then after passing the New Year's, we cannot cut our hairs for entire month. It is called 正月. So because this the parents always say, you know, or the grandparents, senior always say, you cannot use the scissors or cut your hair in a certain period of time, because that's no luck. You know, somehow you cut your hairs
You cut your
and
hair,
your
you cut your
your luck. You know.
Can I add a little bit more on that? That's a very important point. It is actually Confucius and Buddhism philosophy combined together, and they believe, at least some depends on where you are. Some family goes to whole months. Some family goes to 5 days. Some family just the first day of the year. They don't use knife. They don't use scissors to cut anything. They said at least 1 day a year, or a period of time a year, we don't kill, we don't cut, we don't hurt anything. So that is why mom and grandma and sisters would so busy in the kitchen. They are not only prepare the New Year's Eve dinner, they prepare the entire week's dinner there.
Is it possible that the whole concept of year is actually from outside? So I think it's Nian in China, Nian, which is not really year.
We told the little kids, oh, Nian is a monster.
A monster. So the celebration of the sounds and the red and everything is to chase away that monster. So you have to face a new year, but you face it collectively by chasing away the monster and celebrating that with the clouds, the welcoming the new beginning, and that all good thoughts and kindness will spread. Is this in any way linked to agriculture and crops and fertility? Or
that's why we call 过年. 过 is crossover. Crossover. Okay? We are overcome with that 年 thing. So that is that in Chinese, when we say New Year's here, we usually say 过年.
And everything is red because
they believe that this is a fairy tale. Okay, I'll share this.
That's okay. We believe, as a culture, you believe it, so it can be real in your minds, right?
They said it's in one village, the Nian, the end of the so-called the winter, end of close to winter and the beginning of spring, the Nian were coming to the village to destroy the village, to eat the food, some to hurt people, and this and that. So whenever that period comes, people all run to the mountain. There's one year that this old lady, she doesn't believe it. She said, I want to stay here. I think something would scare him off. So she put the whole house, put red paper, red things all over the house. And she's chopped the bamboo and burned burn that bamboo, so that's a firecracker comes. The sun with the bamboo burning. And when Nian came, and this is the things he never saw, or it never saw that before. So he's scared. He ran away. I use he. It's not too fair to male.
Oh dear!
But-
and she was a woman, of course. So
And she was
saved
a
the
woman, so
day.
she
Yeah.
she saved the whole. So since then,
We do sometimes
no,
save the
no.
day. Yeah. Oh, that's
we
wonderful.
saved
And
the
so
day
look at
somehow.
how that evolves all these millennia. Wonderful. Well, that's fascinating to learn, and to learn these extra details that we wouldn't normally know. And so I'd like to thank you very, very much for both of you explaining and giving us a little more in-depth knowledge about the celebration. And thank you so
for
much.
having us.
It's our pleasure.